Hello and welcome to the Gauntlet of Greatness. I'm Randy Buehler, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to play out a tournament of all the best standard decks of all time to figure out which one's the best. One of the obvious candidates is the Tolarian Academy deck that I'm going to be playing today. So you guys can check that out here on the screen. The basic combo here is to get Mind Over Matter into play. That will let you discard a card in order to untap. Could be an artifact in a pinch, like Mana Vault, so that all your cards turn into 3 mana. The goal is play a bunch of artifacts, and Tolarian Academy will tap for a ton of mana, discard that, generate gobs and gobs. If I have, say, 20 mana, then I can Stroke of Genius myself to draw 17 cards, and then 17 times whatever the Academy is producing, generate more than enough mana to just deck my opponent. So that's the goal with the deck. Lots of sauce. Time Spiral lets me draw 7 cards and untap all my lands. Scroll Rack lets me dig. I've got Counter Magic in the sideboard. It's possible that this main deck is supposed to be a little bit less all-in, but Academy was only legal and standard for a couple of months, so you make do with... this is the list we put together, and I'm going to be playing against Pyschatog. I've got a buddy lined up. Shadow Detella is going to let me hopefully beat up on him. We'll see how this goes. All right. Challenging Shadow. Freeform. Not really a format where this deck is legal other than Freeform, so this will work fine. All right. Shadow's Pyschatog deck is basically the deck that Carlos Ramal used to win Worlds. Good deck. You know, Counter Magic is potentially going to be an issue for me. We'll see how that plays out. I have to play around the Counter Magic sideboarding. I get some turnouts, which will make it a lot easier. But for game one, it helps that I won the die roll. Game one can be a little bit tricky to play around Permission. All right, wow. I'm definitely keeping this draw. I mean, this draw can go Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, turn 1 Windfall for 7, and then I'm just up a land and mulliganing him. I can also go turn 1 Ancient Tomb, Scroll Rack, turn 2 Windfall. That seems better because he can't really do anything on the first turn. Yeah, this seems better. Yeah, I lose 2 life. Whatever. Guess. Yeah, I'll play the Lotus Petal. Alright, so I'm set up. I'm pretty sure that I don't windfall next turn. Yeah, it comes into play tap land. This seems fair, right? Hilarious. Yeah, I don't want to scroll rack because all my cards are terrible. Sure. I'll discard 3 cards, you discard 7. Alright, oh, wow. Next turn, I can play Tolarian Academy. I can Time Spiral. My hand is loaded with gas. I guess I should set it up with Scroll Rack? Wow, I can actually Mox Diamond, Lotus Petal, Windfall again. But I want the Academy, so I don't think that's right. I mean, he does have Counterspell in his deck, so I have to worry a little bit about what he can do to me next turn. I have multiple Time Spirals. And if he ever casts anything, I just get to kill him. I think it's worth being able to activate Scroll Rack here. So I discard this island. And we'll just say go. Wow, can I Spiral twice next turn? This Academy is going to make 4 mana, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can only make 10 mana next turn. No double Time Spiraling. Sure. He flashes back Deep Analysis. Yeah, you can see what he lost. I guess if he's got no Counter Magic, makes sense. I'm going to crush him, of course. So he discarded to the Windfall, a Repulse, a Memory Lapse, an Upheaval, Nightscape Familiar, Cunning Wish. Yeah, I mean, I guess he does what he has to do. He has to assume I don't have it, because he can't really fight. Alright, I will I know I'm going to want to play the Academy and the Petal and the Spiral. So I can draw one of those, which means I can put 3 cards onto the scroll rack and try to draw more cheap artifacts before the Spiral. Oh, I get a Mind Over Matter. Even better. Alright. Set it up to draw the Time Spiral. He discards some Chainer's Edicts. Hilarious. Alright, I have a Tolarian Academy. I have a Lotus Petal. I guess the scroll rack kind of makes mana? Intuition. Wow, I can Intuition for Mana Vaults, I guess? Turns of Profits? This deck is silly. Alright, I clearly want to get Mind Over Matter into play. I'm clearly going to play this scroll rack first. So, Tolarian Academy taps for 5 blue mana. Oh, the scroll rack might not have been right. 5, 6. Yeah, I play Mind Over Matter. And then use Mind Over Matter to untap Tolarian Academy, discard this Intuition. Yes, I want to untap it. I tap it for 5. Here's 6 and Time Spiral. Untapping all my lands. I think I'm done. I don't need to untap his lands, right? Right. Now, this draw, I didn't draw anything. Which is kind of unfortunate, but that's what Scroll Rack is for. Now, I need to make sure, if I just draw any Stroke of Genius, I win. If I draw Intuition, I win. So I'm just putting everything onto the rack and seeing as many cards as I can. If I go 0 for 14 here, well, I mean, these things happen. I'm up a million permanents on him. I would probably win even if I did go 0 for 14, but I didn't. Alright, so these cards go back on top of my library. And now I've just got it. Mathematically, he's tapped out, so he can't do anything. I can tap the Academy 5 times. I can Stroke of Genius myself, drawing a stroke, in order to kill him. So I'll discard the Academy, to untap Tolarian Academy. It's not the most click-efficient combo in the history of the world, but we've got him. And you see how this works, right? I've got 15 mana, 20, 25, 30, 35. I draw my top 35 cards. There will be a Stroke of Genius or an Intuition in there. I just dump enough cards to deck him. So no need to play through all of those clicks. I will tell him, I've got it. You can concede. Cool. And that was the tough game. That was game 1, where I don't really have anything to do about his counter magic, but I mean, I won the die roll, and I get to windfall for 7 on turn 1. So that's just blah, vomit all these permanents onto the board. And then, yeah, as soon as he taps out, I just get to go for Time Spiral with an Academy. Even if he doesn't tap out, I probably would have only taken me 1 turn to set up 2 threats on the same turn. Yeah, I actually could have gone, even if he doesn't tap out for that deep analysis, I could have gone both Windfall and Time Spiral with a Time Spiral left over. All right. I mean, counter magic might be handy just because it's so easy for me to get out ahead of him on mana. Capsize pointing at his lands is kind of tempting, but Turnabout is the key card. If I just get a Turnabout, then during his end step, it gives me a way to pick a fight during his end step. I can also pick a fight with Stroke of Genius during his end step. And if I'm just like, I would like to draw a bunch of cards, he can't possibly say yes. So then I'm able to untap and do something. Or discover that he doesn't have any counter magic, and then it's even easier. All right, what do I not want here? Well, I'm on the draw. Windfall is a little bit weaker on the draw, although Man, his deck doesn't have much for cheap. But I think that that's... It just is weaker on the draw. Spirals are better. I guess I could cut an intuition. Just because, yeah, I don't really want to dilute the threats in my deck, since I kind of need to run him out of counterspells. Key. I don't think I can afford to mess with the fast mana piece of the deck. He's telling me in chat that his deck needs a Wasteland, Strip Mines, and possibly Stone Rains. Force of Will would help too. Yeah, I know I want these turnabouts. I really don't know if I need to counterspells. I'm going to try it without them because it doesn't feel like that's how this matchup works. Their hand is all in on Scroll Rack. It's 6 mana cards and a Scroll Rack. No, I could do better than that. I mean, if I hit off the Scroll Rack, it could be exciting, but... I mean, it's got all the pieces. I guess I have to keep that. Mana, though. Kind of an awkward draw. Island helps. So I probably play Mox Diamond before he can counter it. Okay, maybe that's wrong, because there's something to be said for keeping cards in hand for Scroll Rack. What I really want is something like a Mana Vault that I can sink into a big Stroke of Genius. Lands are actually totally fine too. We can play Drago for a little while. Windfall, huh? No Windfall here. He either counters it or I draw 5. I mean, I'm not in love with the idea of discarding these cards, but I'm up 2 cards. He probably has to counter it, right? We'll wait. Wait till I have something to follow up with on the next turn if I do start completing him out of counters. Plus, if he stops playing land, then he'll build up cards in hand. Which is exactly what's happening. Yeah, no land. And these strokes are still just for 1. He's terrified of tapping out. Correctly terrified of tapping out. Oh, he's gonna run on the Pyschatog. Funny. Alright, so we're in his end step, which means he can't counter anything. I think I should Windfall for 6. It does, I guess it grows the Pyschatog a little bit, but if I'm going to Windfall for 6, then I might as well stroke myself for 1. See if I can get a land into play. Yeah, a land or more cheap artifacts. Oh, that's even better. Right. Now I can drop the Scroll Rack. And... Windfall for 6. It'd be so nice to get Mind Over Matter into play. 4 mana, though, it's not happening. I think, though, that resolving this Windfall seems nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just up 3 cards. That's gotta be right. Sure, you can discard them through Pyschatog. It doesn't actually do anything. They're going to the grave. Oh, the windfall. What am I doing? Oh, of course. Hilarious. I'm not drawing 6. Oh, I did misplay this. That's funny. He discards down to 4 with Pyschatog so that I draw less cards. Huh. I also have the ability to save some of these cards with Scroll Rack. How did I miss that? Do I care about these cards? The stroke's not. Fine. I like all 3 of these cards. One, two. Yeah, I can play Mind Over Matter next turn. Should have done this before the windfall. So I could have dropped the Mana Vault. Hilarious. What's he got? How many cards in his graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, just 7. He can get to 10, so he can get. He's basically at +8 right now. So, Pyschatog's gonna take a little while. Go for an end-type stroke. Try to get that Mind Over Matter into play. Things super efficiently. What are you gonna do? I would like to draw 4 cards. Cool. The windfalls are terrible against this matchup. I should have thought of that. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would like to play Mind Over Matter. He's going to go digging with Cephalid Coliseum to find answers. I guess I windfalled him into a trap. And he's discarding Night's Familiars, sure. And the one nice thing my windfall did do is counterspell, gainsay, circular logic all went to the graveyard. Now I have Mind Over Matter in play. It's not bad. Now It's funny. One drawback to having Mind Over Matter against him is he's got a Teferi's response in the sideboard, so he can actually Cunning Wish to go get Teferi's response to blow up my Mind Over Matter if I use it to target his lands, which is just a great thing to do with Mind Over Matter. I can target his lands, tap him out. He's down to the 1 blue mana. If I can hit off this Scroll Rack, I can afford to spend 1 card tapping his Underground River. Now, the Windfalls are garbage. That's Pyschatog in play. But great, there's a Spiral. Alright, we should be fine now. So I can use Mind Over Matter to tap his Underground River. If he taps it for mana, I'll just declare my attack phase. So now I've got him tapped down to just a black mana. There's nothing he can do with a black mana. And I can untap Galarian Academy. I turn a profit by putting this Mana Vault into play. Discard Ancient Tomb, untap Galarian Academy. 6 mana, don't need to tap the Mana Vault yet either. That's Time Spiral. Intuition can go get a Stroke of Genius. But then there's only 1 stroke left in my deck, so I'm not sure that's worth it. Seems like I'm better off just generating a ton of mana and spiraling again. Yeah, I definitely want to put the key into play, because the thing that the key can do is it can untap the Scroll Rack and let me go fishing if I actually fizzle. So we gotta find a Stroke of Genius. If I can draw my whole deck, then I guess the intuitioning for Stroke of Genius is good enough. Let's see how much mana this actually makes. Doesn't seem like it's enough to draw the entire deck. So I don't want to risk not having a Scroll Rack. I guess I can... If I draw half the deck, then I can see the other half of the deck with the Scroll Rack and definitely find it. Yeah, so we've got him. I just have to intuition for 3 copies of Stroke of Genius. And then one of them, thanks to the Scroll Rack, is guaranteed to draw half. Because as long as I can draw half my library, I can see the other half of the Scroll Rack, I'm guaranteed to find the 4th Stroke of Genius. Just explain it. Untap Scroll Rack, you see the other half. Guaranteed to find the last stroke. Cool. Galarian Academy, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty ridiculous. My opponent made the mistake of tapping out on turn 2, so I killed him. And then he made the mistake of, well, I guess here we played a little longer. He played it, we did a little staring contest. I just waited for him to tap mana for the Pyschatog. Stumbled into windfalling into an active Pyschatog like an idiot. But we got there anyway. The deck is just quite good. I have a strong suspicion this will be one of the decks that makes the playoffs and makes a run at winning the tournament. But there you go. There's match number 1. Stay tuned. We'll be back with another one.